least.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's a handful of artists who have told me that they dream songs. Not many.
All right.
It
Yeah.
seems to be a common thing, but it is the ones who do really trust it, like you
Mm,
do. Like you wake up and just go, okay, I've got to get that down.
yeah.
Uh, and some of them, it's as there was one artist I interviewed recently. It tends to happen to her as she's falling asleep. So rather
Ah,
than
yeah.
so
Okay.
she's will have to wake herself up and write it down. But also, yes, dreaming songs entirely. So I always think it's amazing to be able to wake up and actually still remember what was in your head enough to get it down because those
Yeah.
things tend to dissipate quite quickly.
They can, and I think, like I said, that does happen where it's just before you wake up. I think I'm lucky enough to started dreaming it then when I'm sort of starting to be half awake,
Right.
so that
Okay.
I'm lucky enough to wake up just as I've dreamt it,
Right.
and then it's still in my head, and I can work on it as my eyes are open, and I'm still working on it. So I might not have dreamt the whole song, but I can go, I've got the tune, I've got the gist. I can still work on it while I'm in this state before
Yeah.
I'm up and had a coffee and ruined it all.
Yeah. Right.
And hopefully I'm awake enough to sit up and get the phone and record it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes you feel like, I'll just go back to sleep. This is nice.
Mm.
and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
and then you might lose it. So yeah, there's a state that's called when you're in between, when you're just falling asleep or just waking up, a theta state or a beta state. I'm not sure what it is. Look it up, but it's something, and it's where you're most creative. So that would
Okay.
explain that.
Yeah. Well, and also you were saying a little earlier about learning to trust that your subconscious will come up with something. So obviously, this is when you were talking about co-writing with Rebecca, it was just that idea that the subconscious could provide something. So
Mm,
clearly, you've been aware of this for a while. That things can there are layers of awareness essentially in this creative process. But I also think you can only do something with it if you've laid the groundwork for it. It would be no use if you actually just had an idea and like, oh, that's nice. Now what? It's
now
sort of
what?
like you prepare the ground and then the idea can come through or the subconscious can provide.
Absolutely. I think that, yeah, it's you got to be in a position to take advantage of that inspiration or any luck that comes along or any business opportunity that comes along with music. You got to be ready to accept it and do something with it, like you say. And that could be you're proficient at playing guitar and you know what chords to put with
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
It could be as simple as that, and make sure the melody's right and fits with the chords. So that's pretty much the basics of songwriting. So if you've got that down, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the other thing, like I said, if you can know the instruments in your and have them in your head as well, I think that helps because it makes
Right.
you more excited about what the finished product would sound like.
Got it.
And I think if you've heard yourself recorded, you can judge that pretty well. Oh, this will sound good, or you can hear an artist you like and go, oh, could sound a bit like that. It could.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you can think about production as well. It's like, oh, that sounds like it's a slower ballad. That would sound like these songs that I've heard. I do it in
Mm-hmm.
that way,
Mm-hmm.
and usually it's instantaneous the way you choose that
Yeah.
part. Yeah, there's no sitting down agonizing, oh, should it be like this or that? That's the producer's job. So once I've got it in, I'll have a general idea of how it will be. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's good that he comes up with something different. And yeah, usually it works when we put our heads together and do it and do the production.
Well, I would suggest it's instantaneous because you have that massive back catalogue in your mind of all that music that you've loved and appreciated over the years and listened to really closely so that you can essentially draw the file out and say, this is the reference.
That's exactly it. Yeah, you've got a filing cabinet of all this music that's inspired you, and you, if you're lucky enough, you can draw from it on tap. Yeah, it's like that's exactly right. The way you've put it there is, yeah, you keep all that stuff that you've listened to and listened to a lot of stuff, but enjoyed
Yeah.
it and really got into it and listened to it more than once. Like you buy the records and or the CDs as we used to all do, and
Yeah.
you listen to them over and over
Yeah.
and really enjoy it and really not that you're studying it, but you are when you're enjoying it over and over, you're subconsciously studying all this stuff and the
Mhm.
way it works. And when you get when you're songwriting yourself, like you said, when you get to a certain bit, you get, oh, that would sound good if I go to this chord and put the melody there.
Mm-hmm.
But it probably sounds good because you've heard somebody that you really love do that once. You might not know, it's in your subconscious. You might know which song it was or which band it was, but it could be something like that. And that's the material that you've got to draw from, your toolkit, I suppose, that's locked away in there, and you can just bring it out when you need it.
Yeah.
I think it's like that.
I think context is important for everything, and that's the context for you as an artist.